Academic Decathlon is not just a measure of academic excellence, it's more of how much you're willing to push yourself. Like the more time you dedicate and the more passion and the more importance you put to this event, the better you'll do in that event, right? Like at our club, we help each other out. So if you're struggling academically, don't just rule out Academic Decathlon. It could be a life-changing experience for you.
The education landscape is constantly evolving. Staying ahead of the trends is essential. Welcome to EdBuzz LA County, where we explore groundbreaking initiatives, inspiring stories, and innovative practices shaping the future of learning here in Southern California. For the second consecutive year, Alhambra High School has claimed the top spot in the Los Angeles County Academic Decathlon, competing against more than 400 talented students from 33 high schools. With us today are two of these exceptional students, Cesar Gonzalez and Kenneth, and their coach, Jose Sanchez, who have turned the Academic Decathlon from a competition into a journey of personal growth. Whether you're involved in Academic Decathlon or not, their story shows us how dedication to academic excellence combined with strong mentorship can create extraordinary outcomes. Jose, Cesar, and Kenneth, welcome to the show today.
Hi.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your incredible achievement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Always fun to do the banquet and do the awards ceremony.
Yeah, it's really fun for us too.
Oh, good.
Exciting.
Yeah, love it. So, just trying to give people an understanding of what the Academic Decathlon is. Can you provide a little bit of an overview about what it looks like?
Yeah, of course. So Academic Decathlon is a team-based competition where 6 to 9 students at a high school compete against all the other local high schools. We compete in both objectives and subjectives. Our objectives being all of our tests that could range from math, science, lit, econ, music, art, social science. And then we also have our subjectives, which are all speech, interviews, and our essays. This all goes to our combined overall score, and whoever has the highest wins.
I'm curious, how are the teams formed? Do you study together? What does that look like?
For the teams, we have categories, GPA categories. There's 3 from honors, which is from 3.8 to 4.0, and then scholastic, which is from 3.79 to 3.8, and then varsity is anything below that. We pick 3 students from each GPA category, and we work together as a team to get the highest score possible. So obviously, not everyone's gonna be good at everything. So I like to think that working together as a team helps us balance out our weaknesses. So for example, if one of my teammates was struggling in math, I personally think I'm good at math, so I could help her out. And when I'm struggling with like my interview, someone else could help me out. Yeah.
Actually, a correction would be that scholastic would be from 3.79 to 3.2, and varsity is anything below that.
Okay, I got it. Well, and it seems like, to your point, that's what's always impressed me is a camaraderie. There's just this camaraderie that seems to take place amongst the team.
I think it has to do with working together for a long period of time. And again, it is a really rigorous and taxing competition. I was talking with him before we started on this show that we sometimes study for like 8 hours straight, and that's just really physically and mentally tiring. The camaraderie comes from us breaking through our barriers and taking on that challenge as a whole, and we'll support each other. I myself am not very, I like to think that I'm not very funny, but Cesar here, he's a real jokester, and whenever we're having trouble focusing or being like cheerful in our sessions, he will crack a joke and we'll all laugh and we'll find just enough strength to continue. And I think that's like the basis of our friendship and teamwork.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And what is the season? You guys talk about a season. What's the actual season for?
So our season actually begins in the winter. So actually our competition is in January. So we do our county or regional competitions, which is all the teams that are in LA County. And then after that, if we're good enough, we're going to move on to our state competition, which is all the top teams in California. And after that, it's going to go all the way to nationals. So county would be somewhere around January. State's going to be in March. And then the final one, nationals, will be around May.
But we do like to joke that the season starts right after the last competition ends.
I was going to say, is it really like a year-round sport for you?
It is. We started in the summer, right?
In fact, it's starting now because this nationals are already releasing the topic. They're giving hints that it's something related with France. So a lot of my underclassmen who are not part of first team are already gearing up and preparing, and so am I.
Oh, for next year.
next
You
year.
already know next year
Literally
is.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I didn't realize that. I mean, and this is on top of school and anything else that you're involved in. It's pretty incredible. I think one of the things that people often associate with Academic Decathlon is like straight A students, but it doesn't have to be straight A students, as we were just talking about with the GPAs. So, what would you say to people who maybe don't see themselves in that light?
I can answer that. As a student that's definitely not a straight A student, I am a varsity, which means I'm below a 3.2 GPA. And when I joined, I was just afraid. But I mean, you really get to connect with these people. Like when I joined, I was scared because I really thought everyone here was straight A. And I'm going to say most of them will be. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, we have the GPA categories for a reason. You'll be able to compete with whoever your GPA category is. And even then, you're going to make friendships with everyone there.
And I feel like Academic Decathlon is not just a measure of academic excellence, it's more of how much you're willing to push yourself. Like the more time you dedicate and the more passion and the more importance you put to this event, the better you'll do in that event, right? And we have support. Like at our club, we help each other out. So if you're struggling academically, don't just rule out Academic Decathlon. It could be a life-changing experience for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, and behind every great team is a great leader. We know this, and I think that's one of the other things that always fascinated with me with Academic Decathlon are the coaches. And as a coach, you've built this like major team, really impressive team. How do you do that?
Well, I always say it's the students, if you really saw them working, you would realize and you're talking earlier about camaraderie, but just the amount of dedication, work, but we're literally like a family, and they all mesh together. They worked together for now 3-4 years. So I'm just here to help guide them. I'm here to provide as much more support as I can. And actually a lot of the time it's even just finding a space, like for example, on the weekends to be able to study and work. But it is a lot of sacrifice. And I get it from the students' perspective, but also from the coach's perspective. We were joking on our way here that I see them more than I do my own kids sometimes. And it's because they're kind of like my kids. We spend so much time, and we are like a family. And part of why Academic Decathlon works and has worked for us is we learn to understand each other, but also work together. And we know what our weaknesses are, like Ken was talking about earlier, and we kind of battle through those and try to find a solution. I like using the analogy of we're rock climbing and we're all climbing up this mountain with rope, and in order for all of us to get up there, we all have to pull each other up. And so that's kind of what we've been doing for the last couple of years. And we've been successful at it. Yeah.
I think Mr. Sanchez being modest. He brings so much energy to the team, and he's a very busy man. But every single time I see him, he's always smiling and brightening the atmosphere, and I think that helps a lot in our competition. So thank you,
He's
Mr.
created
Sanchez.
such a good space for us. We're all comfortable to talk with him and go with him with anything we need to talk about. And even then, it's like if we have a problem with anything, we know we can just talk with him about it. Because he's there to listen and he's there to give us any advice we need.
I guess you are right. We are like a family.
We are. Yes.
Well, and that's really what I was going to ask, because I imagine that mentorship extends beyond just the Academic Decathlon, right? Yeah. Does it impact, you have him, I'm sure, as a help and support through other areas of life as well as in school.
Yeah. I'll share with you that Kenneth actually and I traveled together.
Oh, we did.
I traveled as his guardian to Johns Hopkins. He was going to be going to Johns Hopkins this fall, and he needs an adult to come with him. And so we spent a weekend at Johns Hopkins and kind of felt
really
like,
nice.
Yeah, as a parent, it kind of made me feel like, all right, this is what I'm preparing for. But also as a coach, is very proud to go with Kenneth as his guardian to Johns Hopkins and explore that site. So that's kind of how we support each other outside of the academic decathlon world. I think we spent every lunch together as well.
Just talking about stuff in
Yeah.
our lives.
Absolutely.
Well, and I mean, it is, I mean, I'm sure you have other friends, but it is different, right? It's like a little bit of a family network that you can lean on, and you're with each other for years as well. So how has, all of this preparation, do you think? I mean, both of you are about ready to go off to college.
Yes, we are both seniors.
You are seniors. So how has this prepared you think, for college and career?
For me, I think it helped me sort of find myself. When I first, I'm an immigrant, so when I came to America, I was really scared and afraid. I was shy and I didn't want to open up to anyone. But Academic Decathlon has helped me remove that perspective. It has shown me that the world is full of great people, and that if you just take the chance to get to know them, that they'll be wonderful and they'll decorate your life with color. I think I found my speaking ability in AcaDec, and I'm very grateful for that because, dude, I used to be very scared of talking. At school, I would have to use the restroom. I hesitated to raise my hand to ask the teacher. But now I can speak confidently, and I'm very grateful to Academic Decathlon for that.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
For me personally, I was able to talk with all of my peers, but I just felt I didn't have any connection with any of them. And when I joined Academic Decathlon, I still didn't feel that sort of connection yet. But over time, through like the competitions that we went through, it just brought us all together, and it helped me form connections that I think are going to last a lifetime. Even then, I wasn't a straight A student also, but still through Academic Decathlon, I was able to work my way up. My GPA is higher now. I'm able to do better on my tests and classes, and I think Academic Decathlon has helped me with that. And I'm preparing for college. And I believe that the studying methods that I learned from him and his brother and everyone there, because they're all unique, I think just that'll help me in college and in the future.
When you reflect back on your journey, what would be the one skill that's kind of an unexpected skill you learned through the Academic Decathlon journey?
I learned how to tie a tie.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I don't have a tie on right now, but I think we have to dress up for spin with a suit and everything. And before I joined Academic Decathlon, I wasn't experienced in that. Now I have to put a suit on whenever I go to like a formal dinner. So I think that even that aspect is a life skill that AcaDec has taught me. Yeah.
Very true.
I have the same thing as him. I never wore a suit before I even went to high school, and it just like once I joined Academic Decathlon, my first year I still didn't wear a suit. All I wore was a dress shirt and some slacks. And then the very next year I knew I had to buy a suit and stuff. So we got a suit, and now I have to wear it almost, it feels like every month now.
You guys both look great.
Thank you so much.
And just to share, because I've known these students and for the last couple of years, and I've seen tremendous growth in them. And I think they're being modest now and not talking about how they've broken out of their shells, and they're great public speakers now. Cesar here got a perfect score on the speech and interview competition in LA County, only one of 5 students in all of LA County. So they're amazing public speakers, they're amazing students, and they've grown so much because of AcaDec. And it's so great as an educator to be able to see and compare where they were when they first joined to where they are now, and now ready to go off to college. They're just amazing. And I think Academic Decathlon has been able to provide a lot of that support. And because of that, they're doing great in all their other classes as well.
Let me ask you, and I know you are being humble, but you are around these students a lot, and they get a lot of advice from you. What advice would you share to students who maybe don't have the opportunity to work with you or Academic Decathlon coaches in terms of success?
I think I just would say, try to do something that you enjoy and that you love, and I think and try hard at it, and I think everything else will fall into place. I think that when a lot of these students joined Academic Decathlon, they didn't really know if Academic Decathlon was for them or what their strengths were. But through the process, they did learn what their strengths were. And for some of them, it's test taking. For some of them, it's speech. For some of them, it's writing. And all of them have a particular strength. And they've been able to find that voice in Academic Decathlon. So I would say, don't be afraid. Try it out. I think everyone's afraid when they join Decathlon. But in the end of the day, I've seen some of my students who I think came in extremely scared like Cesar and now are champions and really in their own regard. So I would encourage students to join and to try really hard and not be afraid.
Yeah, and on that note, I would like to say that I'm planning to study neuroscience, and that love came from AcaDeca. So last year, our science subject was neuroscience, and it gave an introduction on like science of the brain and the technologies of the brain, and that really got me hooked. So I actually found like what could be my life's passion in Academic Decathlon. So yes, like Mr. Sanchez said, don't be afraid to take that first step and try hard at it.
And can also share just for teachers who might be listening.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to also be a coach and take on Academic Decathlon. It is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie, but it is also one of the most rewarding things you could do. But a lot of the satisfaction as an educator that I've taken from being a coach has been being able to see their personal growth, and I think for any educator who really loves teaching, that's just priceless to be able to do that.
What so one of the things that I see as in watching the competition, I mean, to me, it reminds me of an endurance sport. I mean, there's like a real endurance to it. How do you get through that? I mean, is there a candy you eat, or is there? There must be some secret to it.
I think it's just having people working with you. So like, one of my teachers used this analogy. When you go running and you try to find your limit, you'll probably run like, let's say 1 mile. Let's say you take a friend with you, you'll probably be able to run more than that, right? So I think just like an endurance sport, Academic Decathlon can be very taxing, but having other people working and trying with you can make it better. And like I did mention, we have great personalities in our team that makes the environment very lively and just, like I love studying for Academic Decathlon just to meet these people and just to sort of study with them.
Yeah, he's right. It's not just as like a one thing that makes it, we can get through it all. Even though we can say it's cup of noodles or chicken because we always eat that during lunch or after school, it's the people there that helps push us forward. It could be our competitive drive. I want to beat him. He wants to beat me. Or it could be something like, you're one of my best friends and we're doing this together. It's really just the bond of the people there that helps you get through it all.
It's really a life lesson, isn't it? That people being there with you to support you can really help you get through anything.
Absolutely.
So as we close, what's a piece of advice that you would give to next year's competitors?
Keep trying and try hard. And maybe you won't figure it out now, but as long as you keep going, you will figure it out eventually.
I agree. That's a great piece of advice for decathletes specifically too. Yeah, it's just, I know people that gave up sometimes with decathlon because they thought, oh, it's too much work and stuff like that. But it's just, you should keep trying it. Just keep pushing forward. Even then, there's some reward in there. There always will be.
Coach, you got the final word.
Okay. I think I would say that, decathlon, it's not just about studying. Don't lose sight of the fun aspect of Academic Decathlon, which is not just the learning, but there's the social aspect of it as well. Meeting new people, creating a family. And we do a lot of social events. We go to places, we eat out a lot, but we are, in the end of the day, you have an opportunity and a chance to be part of a family.
Yeah. It is amazing, and you are 3 incredible people. I'm so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want to thank Coach Sanchez, Kenneth, and Cesar for being on our show. The strategies and tips they've shared today will undoubtedly be a tremendous help to students in schools striving for decathlon success. To learn more about the Academic Decathlon, visit our website, www.lacoe.edu. I'm Elizabeth Grasswich. I'll see you next time on EdBuzz.